Daisy Ridley recently did an AMA where she talked about Star Wars and the potential for her to show up in future trilogies. Man, people are talking about this interview. Not only did she dispel the rumor that she'd be in the next trilogy, but she kind of makes it seem like she'll never be in another Star Wars movie ever again. Is Rey dying in The Rise of Skywalker?
We do it for the fans.
Big shout out goes to Brad Young. Indeed, Maul did die on Tatooine. Make sure you stay to the end of this video where we will ask another nerd card question. What is up, everybody? Happy Star Wars Sunday to you. I'm Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. Oh, and if you're watching this video on a day other than Sunday, that's okay. But you should know we do dope Star Wars videos here every single Sunday. And for the record, guys, bonus Star Wars video today. Woo! Yeah, I did a video about how EA and Respawn are responding to the Jedi Fallen Order backlash online. I'm really interested in that game. I've been following the drama with it, so there's a breakdown of that on the gaming channel. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Now, while doing some press for her upcoming film, Ophelia, Daisy Ridley was talking and, of course, was asked a million Star Wars questions. And as I said, this interview made a lot of buzz, man. People are talking about all the different things that Daisy Ridley said in this interview, mostly that she shot down the rumor that she was going to be in the next Star Wars trilogy. And this rumor was confusing, man, because we were pretty sure that Dan and Dave are working on an Old Republic trilogy for Star Wars and that the canon's going to go back thousands and thousands of years. And Rey could not possibly be in those movies, and so it was confusing when it was rumored she was going to be in those movies. She not only shot those rumors down, she kind of made it seem like she'll never be in another Star Wars movie again, and you can read some of what she is saying as though she is not fond of her experience in the Star Wars community. Her basic attitude around questions like this were vague and reserved, and she said she would likely not be doing a cameo in Star Wars ever again, and kept referring to the finality of The Rise of Skywalker, how The Rise of Skywalker seemed to tie everything up and there's really no more stories to tell in that era, which immediately made the internet think, oh my god, Rey's gonna die in The Rise of Skywalker. And I mean, maybe, that's totally possible. Perhaps Daisy Ridley does know that her character will die in this last movie and that there could never be a true cameo for her in the future unless she was going to do the Force Ghost thing, so maybe she's referring to that. It's also possible she knows something about The Rise of Skywalker and the plans that Disney has for Star Wars in general, meaning that perhaps there's an epilogue at the end of The Rise of Skywalker that pushes the time period up maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of years into the future. In the same way that Rian Johnson shows that the events that Luke Skywalker did on Crate become a story that spread across the galaxy, maybe in the way future there are stories about Rey, Kylo Ren, Anakin Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker that are all tied together and told to people way in the future. And if that were the case, there'd be no cameos from Rey. This would just be a whole new time period to tell stories in, and even that time period likely wouldn't be visited for another 10 years on real life planet Earth because, well, we're gonna do the Old Republic stuff. Now, do I actually think Rey is gonna die? Well, it's really hard to say. I don't think she's gonna die in the film, but I also can't put it past JJ, I can't put it past Lucasfilm because there's so much that's in flux with this movie and there's so much mystery to how they're gonna wrap up the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy that I can totally see them having Rey make a sacrifice for the greater good, and her legacy within the Skywalker saga is to make that sacrifice. I can totally see them doing that. We know that Daisy Ridley was moved to tears with the ending for her character that was originally written by Colin Trevorrow, but we also know that ending is not going to be happening now. JJ wrote a new script, they're going in a new direction. Now, it could also just be the fact that Daisy Ridley knows that Lucasfilm's going to the Old Republic and she won't be doing any cameos for at least 10 years, as those are all of the movies that are going to be happening live action wise for Star Wars. Maybe she knows that and she's sort of not willing to talk about it. Maybe that is why her comments seem so weird and vague. Now, Kathy Kennedy did say back in the day that they did have plans to tell stories with these new characters. This includes Rey, this includes Poe Dameron, and Finn. Like, she totally said that in an interview before, but it's hard to say if she's just popping off at the top of her dome, just saying cool shit, or is she actually referring to the plan that Disney has, if they have a plan? But I more or less think that Daisy is answering this question because of the finality in The Rise of Skywalker, which could refer to Rey's death, but probably this more has to do with the fact that live action Star Wars is going to be relegated to the Old Republic, so Rey's not going to be doing any cameos for a long time, and she's not sure how to explain that to people. Could she return 10 years from now when they go back and do stories in the future of, the Skywalker saga? Totally, she could totally do that, but there's a big question on whether or not she would want to do that. It's no secret, guys, the Star Wars fandom is passionate, and toxic in a lot of different ways on both sides of the fan divide. As I always say, people are just, well, kind of ridiculous when it comes to Star Wars. So I just can't imagine what that's like, even though she's not on social media. I mean, think about it. She's doing a tour for Ophelia, and she's just getting asked Star Wars questions. All the news now is about her answering these Star Wars questions. It's crazy. People care about it, probably way too much, but I'm not gonna stop caring about it. So that's what we're talking about here, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Daisy Ridley is teasing the fact that the Rey character will die in The Rise of Skywalker? Why is she being so vague and reserved and talking about how she probably won't come back and do a cameo in Star Wars? What do you think all of that is about? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Now let's check the nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know what was the original name for the Rey character before it was changed to Rey. In fact, this name was given to a different Star Wars heroine in hindsight, but the question remains, what was the original name for the Rey character before it was changed to Rey? Answer that question in the comments section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.